Hello, this is Leonard from Friendly Flock. In today's video I'm going to talk about how we define our paddocks with the terrain, the natural borders, and how the sheep move in this environment. Enjoy! So the challenge that we face is that we don't have any fencing. So the only way we keep our sheep in check is with the dogs, as I showed you in the video that I made earlier. But then how do you define the area where you want to keep the sheep in? Because you have to take into account the grass that's there, so the feed availability. Then you have to take into account the terrain. And you have to take into account as well the movement of the sheep on the terrain. So here you can see an example of how we created the paddock in the big sector. So the sector is about 100 hectares, but we are not letting the sheep run everywhere at the same time. So we've first grazed all the way up there, and what we did is we went from the hut and we go back and forth. We played a little bit ping pong, because once the sheep got up there, they couldn't pass there. So what they do is they arrive there, they go down a little bit, and then what they will do, as you can start to see here, they'll start to turn. And because sheep in this period of time, they will always want to go back up. So they will go here, this is the way down and this is the way up. So what they will do is they will go there, they will block themselves here where there are the stones, and then they will go down there, back to the way to the hut, and then they will go up there. So this is the last paddock of that sector that we will eat tomorrow. And what we do is we come from down there, they'll go up there, they'll go down there, and then they'll go back to the hut again. This means that we can play ping pong and go back and forth, and it's easier so for us, the sheep and the dogs, so we don't have to disturb them all the time, while still keeping fresh grass and still keeping them from going back on the regrowth all the time. So what I have to do now here is I have to block the sheep a little bit there, so that they will not eat all the fresh grass for tomorrow, and send them up a little bit there so they can still eat here a little bit, block them, and then when it's time to move home, let them move up there so that they can go home to the night park. Another challenge that we have, it's the first time we are herding here, so we don't really know the terrain. So we know pretty much what the sheep will do in a certain kind of terrain. So for example here you can see that the sheep will naturally go like that and follow the line, the contours of the slope. How we can see that is we can see that they're like trails, sheep trails. The sheep will always go and follow the same path. So they will create trails because they will go back and forth on the same path, which will compact the soil and create that kind of sheep trail. So this is also why we do not want to go over the same path all the time, because this will then eventually create those trails. So this is also why we will limit the time we will leave the sheep going like that to 3 days maximum, so that they will not create that compaction and create those trails everywhere. So now that we got more or less all the sheep together, they already took their trail to go back like that, and then over this little hill and like that back to the night park. The last days we went up there and we did more or less the same from up there. So this time we are a bit further down, which means that we will not pass too many times up there to go back and forth. So now we are almost at the night park. We came from down there and they went like that now. And the night park is down there. So it's almost done for the day. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you got some insights on how we are herding on the mountains. And in the next video I will talk about how we are shifting night parks, why we are shifting night parks, and how we are trying to place them strategically to regenerate soil health. So keep tuned for the next one. See you there. Bye.